Over 200 companies were at the University of Utah last week. Why were they here? Coming up on Newsbreak, I'll have the story for you.
Coming up on Newsbreak, I'll show you how union accessibility has gone up a level.
I'm Matt Jensen. Coming up, we'll be discussing the Benyon Center's alternative fall break.
Stay tuned for the details.
Spend the night at the library if it was open.
The ASUU's presenter's office.
Thanks for watching Newsbreak. I'm McKenzie Deane.
And I'm Dusti Schear. Despite being the largest college on campus, the College of Social and Behavioral Sciences receives less funding for scholarships than any other department. A new program is in place to try and even things out. Lacey Jameson has the story.
The College of Social and Behavioral Sciences tailgate stood out, among others, before the USC football game as students, faculty, and alumni gathered to raise money for the department's scholarship program.
We certainly don't have as much scholarship funding as we need, and we want to create some continuity locally, so we're going to host tailgates on an annual basis, probably 2 or 3 a year for students, and hope that this grows over the course of the next 3 to 5 years.
I think this event is definitely going to get the word out more about our scholarship fund, as well as just kind of what we do as ambassadors in the college. And I think it's a great way for students to mingle with faculty outside of the classroom.
The college has $250,000 set aside for this purpose, but seeks to expand that amount to $500,000.
The Connections Fund is a unique scholarship fund because it's all student run, so every contribution in it is given from other students in the college, and all of the money in the scholarship fund goes to helping students within the various departments.
The scholarship program hopes to expand 2 things: the number of students that receive scholarships and the overall amount given to each individual student.
Over 70% of our students work 20 hours or more a week, and so we recognize the burden that is for students, and we'd like to minimize that burden, allow them to focus more specifically on school and have a better overall college experience.
Senior Victoria Lumen knows just how much scholarships can affect student performance.
I actually have a scholarship in this department, so it's like really personal for me that I really benefited from it. So I'd like for other students to be able to benefit for that as well. Also, there are a lot of opportunities that students are given that sometimes they can't afford, but would really help them in their studies and also in their career goals.
It's probably the most impactful way to support the mission of the university is to support students and to do things that free up time for students to focus on school very specifically and not have to work to support themselves.
Reporting for Newsbreak, I'm Lacey Jameson.
The next fundraising event will be a dinner in mid-November where local alumni will be enlisted for help.
The Union Building has recently undergone some changes that make it more accommodating for everyone. Brandon Riddle has the story.
The Utah Union Building has 2 separate third floors: the West Wing, which has an elevator, and the East Wing, which doesn't. A new lift was built to assist students like Ryan McDonald reach the East Wing. Paul Kennard, the advertising manager of the Utah Chronicle, talks about how it will benefit the office.
An opportunity for students with disabilities to be able to work up here. The other thing, for the last few months we've been separated, where the Chronicle's been down there and a lot of the other staff have been up here, and so that's going to help quite a bit to have everybody combined all on this floor all together.
Ryan has been working at the Chronicle since August of 2011. He was hired as the assistant sports editor last February, which requires him to be in the office. Being able to access the 3rd floor independently has made him that much happier.
And I think that's a big part of it for me. I think is being able to do it, quote unquote, like everybody else.
Paul explains that before the lift, another staff member had to carry Ryan into the office.
Like Ryan, for instance, I understand that he had to have other people bring him up, so it maintains their independence. And you know, allows them, you know, without too many accommodations from others to be able to come up here and do their thing.
Ryan has been using the lift for several weeks now and understands that it will be beneficial to others as well.
Like it benefits me and it's great for me, but it's good that it's here now in place for the future. Who knows how many people, you know, are gonna benefit from it, you know, throughout the years.
With the opening of this new lift, those with physical disabilities will have access to this section of the 3rd floor, as well as the Chronicle office and other classrooms. The Chronicle says there's really no downside to this. Reporting from Newsbreak, I'm Brandon Riddle.
For anyone wanting to find out more information on campus accessibility, you can go to the Center for Disability Services website at www.disability.utah.edu.
Students here at the U had the opportunity to meet with future employers at this year's career fair. Justin Giles has more.
So what exactly is the career fair?
It's really more of an opportunity for students to learn about the work environment, network with these companies, getting a sense of what kinds of jobs they represent, and learning a lot about them. And so understand what kind of company they are, what the jobs they're offering, you know, anything you can learn about those companies. And that's another way that Career Services can help them, because we know the companies.
With over 200 companies at the career fair, what can students do to prepare themselves to have a good experience?
You have to prepare to be successful at a career fair. You can't just show up. You know, you want to dress professionally. You want to have worked, hopefully, with Career Services in advance and met with the career counselor to talk about your resume, to talk about your personal introduction, to have some specific knowledge of the companies that you're going to see, and actually come with a strategy around, I can't maybe see all the companies today, but I want to see a very select, specific few that I know I'm going to be interested in. So they need to come prepared, they need to look professional, sound professional, and they need to have something, they need to be able to talk about themselves in a unique way. What are the competencies that they can offer an employer, and what's the value added that they can bring?
With more companies coming every year, what do the employers see in the University of Utah students?
The employers always tell us, just almost consistently, that they like coming to the University of Utah. They find the quality of students they're looking for here.
Now that the career fair is over, students can look forward to the career fair and job fair next spring. For more information, you can go to the Career Center at the Student Services Building, or you can visit our website at www.newsbreak.utah.edu. Reporting for Newsbreak, I'm Justin Giles.
The university holds many events that attract students to campus. One of the more popular events is Crimson Nights. Rachel Mon has more details.
Crimson Nights is an annual event at the University of Utah where students come together for a dance. The dance has been going on for 27 years. Crimson Nights is the biggest late-night student event in the nation. The past Crimson Nights in August, with the theme Jersey Shore, got a bit out of hand and had to be shut down early.
On the night of the incident, officers working the event at the Union Building, the Crimson Night, discovered that there were fights breaking out on the dance floor. In consultation with those who were managing the event and the disc jockey working the dance, the decision was made to stop the music, stop the dancing. People started to leave, but small fights continued to break out. The officers reported that the fighting escalated to the point where it seemed as though everyone was fighting. The officers on scene called for assistance from the other University of Utah Police Department officers who were working elsewhere on campus. And Salt Lake City was also called for some assistance. All the officers who were called converged on the scene with a show of force. By that I mean lights and sirens going, and that seemed to convince the remaining patrons that it
I invited the director of the Crimson Nights Board, Nikki Jamili, to speak not only on the problems of previous events, but also on what to expect from the upcoming event. So Nikki, all that fighting at the past Crimson Nights, what was going on there?
So, I mean, for Crimson Shore, we had about 7,000 people show up, and so with that, like, so many people, that could really lead to just like fights and whatever. I mean, it's what it's expected with having a huge population there. But thing though is that we actually didn't have any arrests or any hospital visits during the actual event. So I mean, we really take pride on trying to keep things safe, and when we notice that things are getting out of hand, we'll make sure to end it before anything can happen. So.
Great. So this Friday, how are you guys planning on balancing the fun and the chaos?
Yeah, so we actually added more security and more police this time around. So we'll have them there just in case things are to happen. We always make sure that we have open communication, we have radios, and we're honestly, like, our main concern is safety of students and making sure that they're having fun at the same time. So.
And on a lighter note, what is the theme of this Crimson Nights?
It's Nightmare on Campus, so it's based on horror movies, and we're gonna have a human hamster ball there and free food and a whole bunch of cool stuff like a dance.
Awesome.
So.
Any other activities?
Yeah, we're gonna have a whole bunch of student groups doing different things. We might even have a thriller dance put on by the Hale Center Theater, so it'll be really cool. Yeah.
And so if students want to get involved in Crimson Nights, what's a good way for them to get involved?
They can email nights.crimson@gmail.com or come into the UPC office in the Union Building, and they can just come in there and we'll set something up for them. So.
Great. Well, thanks for enlightening us on the actions of the Crimson Nights Board. I look forward to going. Hopefully this time students can keep it under control. And thanks so much for coming today.
No problem.
Crimson Nights, Nightmare on Campus, Never Sleep Again, will be held this Friday starting at 9 p.m. Student admission is free with your U-Card.
3, 2, 1. I have now taken 4 different semesters. I've specialized in behind the camera, I've specialized in front of the camera, and now I'm focusing on web-based material. There's a lot of more life experience in this, I guess, this class.
When you come in, it's not like, okay, we're here for another class. Let's go sit at a desk and take some notes. I'm here for, another chance to learn something new.
Welcome back. Utah football senior Boo Anderson is back from a knee injury that ended his season early for him in 2011. Jancy Coggins met up with him to hear his story.
Utah's 5A football state champions. And here under the Friday night lights, it was common to hear the home crowd booing. People wondered, why would they be booing their own team? But it didn't take long to find out that they were actually cheering for Boo Anderson.
Well, his mom pinned it on him, Boo Boo the little bear, and it just stuck with him. Just everybody called him Boo, and that's his name. When he was 8 and he started, he was a linebacker, and he crunched people. We knew he was going to be good, and that was his position.
And his dad was right. Boo continued to crunch offenses year after year. His senior season, he led the Hawks to their first state title since 1988. And following that season, he was given Utah high school football's highest honor and had his reign as Mr. Football. Well, eventually.
They called him on the phone and told him he was Mr. Football. And he's all excited, and we're going, wow, that's great. Then his mom walks in and goes, you know what, you pulled a lot of pranks. Do you think it was a prank call? And we just, our jaws dropped. And we just thought, man, that's a cruel one.
Of course, my mom, the lady she is, told me it was probably a prank. And so I wasn't sure for a few weeks till it actually came out. So I was just kind of on the fence about it.
But his decision on where to play college ball was much clearer. He wanted Utah, and Utah wanted him.
We always had an eye on him in high school, and then just being able to get him here as one of our players and me being able to coach him has been awesome.
And he made his presence felt right away with his rare combination of speed and size.
We hear people in the stands always say, he's faster than anybody on the field and about twice as big.
Boo was leading the team in tackles in 2011 until he suffered the biggest setback of his career 7 games into the season.
And I saw the way he went down. He immediately, when he went down, he holds his hand up, and I go, oh, that's bad.
I felt a pop, and I knew right away my ACL was gone, so it was definitely tough.
But sometimes an adverse situation can turn into something you'd never expect.
And it seemed like the end of the world, like the worst thing ever, but it ended up being a good thing, because when I was doing my rehab and everything, I met my wife, and we were able to connect, and I was able to go watch some softball games while I was hurt and out for spring ball, so it ended up being a real good thing.
Yeah, we like her more than Boo. He probably would have never met her had he not got hurt.
We knew that he would be able to come back from it and probably faster than most other people. And just seeing the way that he's reacted to adversity, he's been awesome. He's been great, and I think he'll have a lot of success in life.
And he always has come out on top. And usually it happens right at the last minute, like Mr. Football, just like Mr. Football.
And who knows, maybe this season he'll have the chance to be booed again. This is Jancy Coggins with Sports for Newsbreak.
Be sure to tune into the game this Saturday. Utah will be traveling to Oregon to take on Oregon State.
Most students spend fall break relaxing or visiting with family, but some take the opportunity to perform community service. Matt Jensen is in studio with us to tell us more.
I'm here with Corinna Hunn, one of the site leaders for the Alternative Fall Break. Thanks for being here with us, Corinna.
Thank you.
So first off, could you just tell us about Fall Break?
Sure.
Or Alternative Fall Break?
Alternative Fall Break is a chance for students for when they don't really want to go home and sit at home for a week for fall break. They can go to this Rio Mesa Center in southern Utah and perform community service there for the week. So we go for 5 days and we camp out and we perform various service projects to help make the area better.
Okay. So what were some of the specific service projects that you did?
So we created a volleyball court and a horseshoe pit, which is a lot of fun to use when they were done. And we also removed some invasive species, which are called tamarisk. And we also finished and coated some benches to put around the campfire.
Sounds like you were busy. So I understand you had some guest speakers.
Yeah, so the person who lives down there all the time, he brought in some guest speakers from the area to tell us about things happening in Utah. So we had someone who was an expert on honeybees come and talk to us. We had people come to talk to us about bats. And also there were people who, you can see in these pictures, do bird banding. And they came and talked to us about that. So it was really interesting to hear from all the guest speakers.
Okay. So it's open to all students, but are there certain students that are more specific?
Yes, it is open to all students, but usually it's the best for like foreign exchange students who can't go home for fall break but still want to experience Utah.
Right. Okay. Well, thanks for being here with us. For more information about Alternative Fall Break, you can check the links on our Facebook page.
That's all the time we have. Thanks for joining us. I'm McKenzie Deane.
And I'm Dusti Schear. Thanks for watching Newsbreak.